I don't ever want to forget this day. All right, around 10 years ago, you know, I had came home right before the holidays. I had came home. Um, it's back in December. It was the 17th, 2015. I came home for the holidays, just for right before the holidays. And so my mom usually holds around about this time. She usually holds um Bible study, family like it was like a family night Bible study type thing. So it was just me, my niece, and my mother, and I had this, this thing about, you know, I don't want to say like much about what other people believe, but what I believed at the time, the Bible was a man wrote the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So of course man had to write the Bible, but like um I was more so looking for like inconsistencies or you know just like what others may have that I've talked that had discussions about the Bible, may listen to what they had said, and if it made sense, then I would look at what they would say, but it was something that I couldn't explain. So, you know, I kind of like challenged my mom's faith. Did she, um, that was something I shouldn't have done. It was something that, was foolish of me to challenge her faith, to try to make her question her faith because I thought I had what I believe found the inconsistency in the Bible. So the particular um the particular verse I'm talking about is Proverbs chapter 8. All right. So my argument was who wrote that chapter? You know, who was that? Uh it was more so like I was trying to be um but that was really much my argument, you feel me? Who, how could this be possible? You know, how could this be possible? So, um, I'm gonna read the whole chapter, and please bear with me because I'm not the best fluent reader, but I know how to spell some words, I know how to read some words, I know how to pronounce some words, but not all of them. But not yet, But doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice. She standeth at the top of high places, by the way in the places of the path. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Herefore I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instructions, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil pride and arrogancy, and the evil way and the froward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom I am understanding. I have strength by me, king's ring, and princes decree justice. Now it may have sounded like I said princes, but I said prince, but plural, not single. Singular is plural. All right. By me prince rule and noble, even by the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me. Yes, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yeah, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the path and judgment, and I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill the treasures. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of the way. Hold up. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set. Say, okay, here's what's starting to come now. Here's what my message starting to come in right here. All right, starting at verse okay, starting at Proverbs 8, starting at verse 22. He said, "The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or over the earth was." Hold up. It said, I was set from the beginning. I was set from the everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. Is that before? I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. Okay. Y'all bear with me on that. But some of these versions read differently, so go. You can go. Read your own version. It may be worded different. All right. Now, starting back at starting at 24, and I'm gonna finish it on out. Where there were no depth, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. So, I'm gonna read that again. Where there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. before the mountains were settled, before the hills was brought forth, while as ye, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass up, when he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the fountain of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Now, therefore, hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whosoever findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor. And the Lord, hold up, I got to read it over. For whosoever finds me find life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul, and they that hate me love death. Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you why it's important to not be blasphemous toward God, and try to find inconsistencies in the Bible and try to talk down to Christians about their faith, trying to cause them to not believe that God is real. Because some people don't have everything that they pray for, so they don't say that, well, this is my need and God is not providing my need. God must not be real, if something terrible happened in the world, something that's really horrible that happened somewhere in the world, like, well, how could God allow this to happen? Or something such as tempting God. Say, God, if you real, what I do, I'm gonna throw this ball, and if this ball hit this wall, you're not real. But if you stop this ball before it hits that wall midair and it falls and hit the floor, then I believe that you're real. Like tempting God like that. It's important not to do that. But I'm gonna tell you what brought me some bad luck. When I was kind of disruptive in my mother's at Bible study, just because I was saying, like, who is this, and why didn't God create him in the beginning of the Bible so we all could know who wrote this? King Solomon, I googled, King Solomon wrote Proverbs. But if you go back and you read the beginning in Genesis, so on and so forth, it's like, in the beginning God created the heavens and earth, and the earth was out formed, you know, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. But it never said nothing about who this person was, who said that they was there in the beginning with God. Because in chapter 8, verse it starts at 22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm proving a point. I'm trying to, show off and prove a point, because I'm being technical about something that, I wasn't there. I don't know who wrote I don't know how these people got the ability to take these words from God and put it in the Bible. I don't know the process. There is some words about there's some missing books of the Bible. But after I did that, I started falling from grace. Like just things started happening. Bad things. I lost my job. I had done met a nice young lady, good looking girl, smart, intelligent, come from a decent family. And the crazy thing about this, right? This situation with this newfound relationship that I had around like 2011, 2012 maybe. I'm out, outside with group of guys from my city and stuff. We chilling. I'm bragging though. Talking about how I'm always gonna be a player, I ain't gonna never fall in love, and I ain't gonna never fall in love. So, I get home, I found what I thought was love, you know what I'm saying? I was happy, I felt liberated, you know what I'm saying? But first I lost my job. Weeks later, well, a couple months later, everything started going downhill. I went to jail. While I was in jail, my girl left me. Found someone else. Came home. Then because I was I had stayed in jail like a month and a half. I lost my car. It was just like I started making decisions out of desperation, man. You know what I'm saying? I was desperate. I was lonely. I had done, it felt like I had been cut off. And I didn't always make the best decision. But God still said, I'm gonna teach you. Cause it could have my situation could have been worse than what it is. Now I'm not sitting up here to proclaim to be a holy and sanctified Christian. I don't take that title because, I have some shortcomings and stuff in my life and some hang-ups and strongholds. And I missed out so much in life. I should, so many things that I missed out on, so many experiences that I should have had in life, I missed before I, went away. And my childhood was difficult, But so me being disrupted, eventually, I kind of realized that, like that ain't even the half. Like that's just like stuff just started going down from there. So and then God really, put me in a situation to learn about a lot about myself that nobody ever taught me, even about life, about healing. You know what I'm saying? I think that God talked to us individually. Sometimes people be like, well, what are some personal experiences that you had that God had revealed something to you? I feel like some things are meant, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like some things, if God wants you to know, God will reveal it to you, especially if it's like a divine intervention, that's a blessing that's meant only for you, that God will reveal it to you if it's something that God wants you to know. Because I've learned things that nobody taught me nowhere. But back to what I was saying, you know, uh, I know I'm not where I'm supposed to be due to the circumstance. I'm just hoping that things get better. I pray they do. But today is January 8th, 2026. And this is Proverbs 8. Because they say you should read like a proverb whatever day it is. Try to read you a proverb if you can. And that's crazy. That was my confirmation for me playing with God like that. I was just talking about this earlier. You know, how you don't, try to tempt God. But this is my confirmation. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. And I'm gonna post this to a couple pages, but I believe it, 'cause this is what we're supposed to do, Don't look at, I ain't perfect. So, I was speaking about, if you go like people, those who use their authority and their position to dictate a person's life. They want to see something that they don't like about it, so they want to change and alter a person's life and make that person's life a living hell. And the person acting out of desperation, and you want to punish that person for the situation that you caused. You caused this. You caused this. But if a person, make a bad decision, probably not, hurting nobody or nothing like that. I'm not saying, speaking violence or nothing like that, but you punish that person for a situation that you created, that's wrong. Like if you're gonna punish a person, punish them rightfully. For them, they shouldn't have a reason to have to do that. That's unnecessary. You know. Oh. Some people you just have to spell it out for them because they want you to, say an example. You know. If a man is lonely, or someone is lonely, they don't have no one. They try to, be social with someone because nobody really wants. They've been isolated, so they are lonely and they're cut off. Or they may be entertained by the wrong, things such as porn or masturbation or something like that. Okay, they don't have. They've been they don't have no one. You feel me? On the other end, if a man is able to be sociable and not isolated and cut off and targeted and stuff like that, is able to have someone that they can date. Like if love is love, no matter what color they are. If two people love each other and they want to be together, let them be together. But some of these couples don't get the support that they should get from whether it be law enforcement, family, whatever governs this our society. Society, some people just don't. They're not on the same page. But that's not everybody's place to intervene with people that's together, that really love each other and want to be together. If that's the case, because everybody, you know, have different stories to tell. So, yeah, that was my confirmation though. I was just talking about that today. How people, have bad luck. Like even with some people, they were saying in the movie industry. You know what I mean? Putting stuff out there that's blasphemous towards God and having bad luck after that. Or people, you know, people that claim to be atheists and stuff like that. You know, some people be in a hard place in life. Sometimes, people have, experienced things and be hurt, man. Some people are broken, traumatized by things that happened to them in their life, and they question, how could God allow this? Like, what type of God would allow that? Like, I'm saying, like, my condolences and my heart goes out to people that suffer and hurt and stuff like that. But man, you don't want your soul to be in hell. If God proved it, that was my confirmation. If God proved that God is real, this was it. I don't never want to forget this day ever. All the money in the world is not worth going against God for, bro. Cause you got people on this earth that's vessels of God, But nobody told me to go read Proverbs 8 today. And me, I just sometimes, like, I talk to myself sometimes. Like, I be having so much, I just can't hold it in. I have to talk. You feel me? But I was talking about this earlier, and then I came and read this right here, and then that was my confirmation. But I just wanted to share that, man. Y'all have a good one. Until next time.